You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, August the 20th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. There are not enough working buses, so find alternative ways of getting your children to school. That's a message to parents from the Department of Public Transportation as the start of the new school year gets closer. Gary Moreno tells us more.
The Department of Public Transportation today issued the statement encouraging parents and students to consider alternate modes of transportation in the upcoming academic year. This as a result of continued issues with insufficient buses in service and the need for a new bus schedule, both of which the DPT says it is working assiduously to resolve. According to the release, the department made the announcement now to provide ample time for parents and students to find other means of transport before the start of the fall term come September. That means they're encouraged to consider using the commuter ferry service or catching a ride with family and friends. The department explains it is seeking to implement an interim solution which will assist commuters and in particular school students in reaching their destinations. However, we've not received any response to what that solution might look like and whether it would entail the use of minibuses as it did last year. Back then, Walter Raban, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Transport, indicated at a press conference DPT mechanics have maintained a rigorous maintenance schedule to contain the number of out-of-service vehicles in the existing fleet. This includes the installation of new parts, including replacement radiators. Also, modifications were being made to buses to better ventilate the engines, which they believed will reduce the number of buses out of service through overheating. Elsewhere, there were 2 man technicians on island for 3 weeks back in July of this year. One of the projects assigned to them was the inspection of the 2009 buses to know what, if any, additional prep work is necessary so that DPT is ready for their refurbishment. Meanwhile, we sought to find out how long the proposed interim solution mentioned by the DPT will be in place. Was a solution worked on during the summer break? If a solution was worked on, what was the outcome and why wasn't it implemented? Does the DPT have any data to show the percentage of students, both public and private, who depend on their school buses to get them to and from their places of learning? And if so, what do those figures reveal? So far, we've had no response, just as we've not heard back from them on how much the non-payment of fares is costing the department. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we have since received confirmation from the Ministry of Transport that responses to our questions are in fact forthcoming. In other news, electricity provider Belco says it has an order from the regulatory authority instructing the company to pay its customers who feed electricity into its grid. Belco previously said it could not pay customers due to a legal technicality. That's now been amended. Customers with solar panels form the vast majority of those who feed power into the national grid. A statement from Belco says it is pleased to be able to compensate affected customers following what the company describes as a lengthy impasse. Company Chief Executive Sean Durfee noted that Belco had discussions with officials for over a year about having the law changed. The company is now in the process of contacting affected customers to have a new contract signed. More evidence was heard in the Andrew Lake manslaughter trial. An accident investigators said Lake's boat rode almost completely over a smaller vessel in a collision that killed a New Zealand woman. In his evidence, Terry Card told the Supreme Court that damage to the 2 boats showed Lake's 17-foot vessel hit a smaller inflatable boat before being running behind over it. That collision on the 1st of June saw Mary McKee knocked unconscious and subsequently drowned. She was traveling across Hamilton Harbor at around 11 p.m. with her husband, Arthur, and their boat's skipper. When the accident occurred, the New Zealand couple had only arrived in Bermuda that day to watch the America's Cup racing. Still to come, more evidence in the boat collision trial that's led to charges of manslaughter. Plus, we'll have all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
This is Jane. Jane has been living independently until her recent fall. Because of the injury she sustained, her mobility is now limited. Jane chose Bermuda Inn Home Care to assist her with her activities of daily living. The caregivers at Bermuda Inn Home Care are trained to care for individuals with limited mobility. They incorporate exercise and activities into Jane's care plan given by her doctor and physiotherapist. The caregiver helps the family select the right medical equipment from Lighthouse Medical Supplies. Lighthouse Medical Supplies have certified durable medical equipment specialists available to help. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. Falls lead to head injuries and hip fractures. Fall prevention is critical. Call Bermuda In-Home Care to speak to one of our home care specialists. Call us now for a free home care assessment, 705-4424, or visit us at www.bermudainhomecare.com.
Cross comes in and it's won by Clark but put back in. Huddersfield have scored and it is Naki Wells.
Naki Wells, 3-0. Ball into the area and again, and this time it's turned in by Naki Wells.
Business News Now with Tony Waterman.
Insurer Chubb has opened a new Asia Pacific division, a major accounts division. The premium service will handle underwriting, risk engineering, and claims for large multinational clients in the region. The new division will be headed by Doug White, currently president for Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau. And an unexpected surprise at the box office this weekend.
These people aren't just rich, okay? They're crazy rich.
Rom-com Crazy Rich Asians took the top spot in the U.S. and Canada on its opening weekend, raking in more than $25 million. The film cost just $30 million to make. The movie tells the story of an Asian-American girl who travels to Singapore with her boyfriend, only to discover he hails from an ultra-wealthy family. It's the first major Hollywood film with an all-Asian cast since The Joy Luck Club 25 years ago. The movie's producers turned down a lucrative offer from Netflix, taking their chances on a Hollywood debut. Specialty Cinema is showing the film. And speaking of Netflix, the streaming giant could soon be interrupting your binge fests with ads. The company is toying with the idea of running commercial videos promoting other Netflix shows. Some users not keen on the idea taking to social media. One person saying, "No breaks is the reason why I use Netflix in the first place." The company quick to point out, though, that the ads will run in between shows and a skip option will be available. I'm Tony Waterman, and that's your Business Mashup.
Thanks, Tony. Weather now, and the warm weather continues with a little sign of ending. Taking a look outside, there are some clouds around, but still a nice evening in store, it seems. So can we expect any change soon? Here's today's AccuWeather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and here we are on Monday again. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. We've had a lot of moisture out toward the East Coast, and we've also had some moisture here locally, but not exactly for everyone. You can see that we do have a disturbance off to our north where we do have some showers and thunderstorms, and I had to zoom into this and loop it over the last hour. We've had winds today coming in out of the southwest, so the locals refer to it as Morgan's Cloud. People that might be traveling here refer to this kind of as streamers. What we essentially have is a lot of moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and the wind coming in from the southwest produces showers and thunderstorms. And on the northeastern side of the island, that's exactly what we've been seeing today. Farther south, not so much. So we do have a temperature spread here. Farther to our south, Somerset and Dockyard, also Hamilton, temperatures are right around the mid-80s. You get farther north where it's been a bit more unsettled. That is where we do have some slightly cooler temperatures. So that's happening right now. We will allow for a shower or thunderstorm to continue throughout this evening. We actually do have a marine alert for you here, a thunderstorm advisory that was issued by the Bermuda Weather Service, and that is through this evening. Once we head into the next couple of days, it's just going to be a hit or miss shower or or storm. Your tidal times right over here. We have low tide at 11:52 tonight, high tide tomorrow morning just after 5:30 a.m. So getting into your forecast for the rest of this evening, again, we've been dealing with those showers and storms mostly on the northeastern half of the island where it kind of just sets up in a line. And as we continue into tonight, partly cloudy for some of you. Others will be dealing with a bit more unsettled weather. 78 degrees for your overnight low. And as we take you into your future cast here, you can see high pressure is off to our east, but we still do have a little bit of moisture around. Now, as we head into the next couple of days, we're going to see a deeper plume of moisture. Well, not exactly going to see it, but we're going to feel the moisture increasing. So by the time we get to about, say, Friday, that's where we could see a bit more in the way of more numerous showers in the area. Up until then, we really don't have it in the forecast here, but don't be surprised if you see a shower or two the next couple of days. 86 degrees for your Tuesday, mostly sunny and pleasant, a low of 78 degrees. If you're doing some traveling, pack the poncho. We've got rain in Toronto tomorrow. New York City, 78 degrees, and Boston temperatures are in the low 70s. No tropical development, but we do have some showers and storms in Jamaica, Barbados, and also into Trinidad, temps in the 80s and 90s. Your extended forecast, you can see, will allow for clouds and sunshine. Temperatures, well, you can pretty much copy and paste the forecast every day. A shower possible, but more numerous, deeper moisture arrives later on this week.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane actually the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care. And because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
All my life is changing every day, in every possible way. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
How much do you want for the cake? You accept doggy biscuits?
Welcome back. Well, many around the world are mourning the death of former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who died on Saturday at the age of 80. And there's been tributes to the Ghanaian diplomat from Bermuda, too. Peace activist Glenn Fubler of Imagine Bermuda gave this brief appreciation of the statesman's life.
Dear friends and colleagues, saying goodbye is never easy. I have spent most of my life working with the United Nations. I feel it is my home. I can think of no other job in the world that would have been so rewarding.
Bermudian peace activist Glenn Fubler of Imagine Bermuda gave a brief reflection on Kofi Annan's life.
Kofi Annan, as you know, served as the United Nations Secretary General, And that's the person, that's the administrator. That's sort of like the cabinet secretary in a given government. So that's the person running the show. And one of his key roles is to maintain a sense of neutrality in that role. It's vital that the UN be seen and perceived as being neutral in those world conflicts. And I think his acid test came actually in the early 2000s when you had a sense of hysteria after 9/11. I'm going to use the term hysteria. And, people wanted to go to war. And, of course, a war happened, the second Iraq War. But the key was that he kept the United Nations neutral in that regard. If you can remember that the testimony that went on before the Security Council, etc., that his presence, his natural ability to bring people together, to demonstrate his neutrality, not being prejudiced or prejudging a circumstance and situation, I think he was head and shoulders above many.
In other news, parents in need of a little help with the cost of school uniforms can pick up clothing for their children over the next 4 days at the Seventh-day Adventist Church Hall on King Street in Hamilton. The supplies have been collected by the Coalition for the Protection of Children and government departments following donations entirely from members of the public. Hal Davis reports.
There's a huge range of school clothes available at the church hall, and it's clearly a welcome sight for many of the parents coming here.
Yes, a very good selection. I was surprised they had pretty much everything that, a kid would need to get back to school. It's really good, to be able to come here and get, stuff for kids. The supplies are expensive, the clothes are expensive, so, anywhere that, people want to help is always a good thing.
15-year-old Loxley Cummings is here with his mother, Karen Davis Cummings, and she also welcomes a chance to get some help with the high cost of school supplies.
I came here to get my son a uniform for Cedar Bridge because it's his first year at Cedar Bridge, and he came from overseas and is living with us home now from Cedar Bridge. So from Cedar Bridge, we needed to get uniforms for him, and the uniforms are so very expensive, and this is a great idea of having uniforms for children here to pick up, especially parents that can't afford to pay.
The clothes all come from members of the public, with the church hall open until Friday evening for those wanting to collect them. But the organisers also stress they're still accepting donations, as they've had a regular stream of people coming in.
It's been a steady flow of people in and out. We're happy with how it's moving and the items that we're able to give away. We're really appreciative of the support that we've gotten from the community in terms of donations, and definitely hoping that we can get some more throughout the week.
So, a welcome community initiative as the island's children prepare to return to school, and one that seems to be achieving its goal of making sure parents have a few more dollars in their pockets when the school gates open. Howell Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Hal. Well, still to come, millions around the world get a peek at Bermuda through social media. Plus, Earl Baisden will have all the latest sports news. That's in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday.
12 new major news.
The big station.
The morning show.
The number one song.
The faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about.
What an upset it was.
The storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 metres deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment
and the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance of Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
How much do you want for the carriage? You accept doggy biscuits?
Are you looking to expand your customer base, increase sales, and be a part of the Island Community Events for 2018? Bermuda Broadcasting Company can make that happen.
Be a part of World Cup 2018, Bermuda Day Half Marathon, Bermuda Heroes Weekend, Cup Match Classic, and Eastern Counties Cricket.
Inquire about our new advertising opportunities, whether big or small. We will deliver. Come and see us at Fort Hill, Devonshire, or email us at sales@bbc.pm, or send us a message on Facebook at Bermuda Broadcasting.
Welcome back. Sports news now, and a great win for Bermuda's youngsters in football in Cuba, plus a drama-filled day on Saturday at the Seabreeze Oval in Eastern County action. Earl Baisden has all the details and more in tonight's sports report.
On the heels of the under-15 girls winning the Division II in CONCACAF, the under-14 boys won their opening match in the Caribbean Football Union's Challenge Series against Cuba.
Bermuda youngsters came from a goal down to score twice in the closing stages of the match. Bermuda will get a goal from Lazai Otterbridge and Deniche Hill, who scored with the last kick of the game. Coach Sequoia Robinson was pleased with the performance of the team.
Very proud of the boys with the result that they achieved over Cuba tonight. 2-1 result after being down 1-0. Boys worked really hard, stayed committed, and focused on task. It was a very, very competitive match up until the last missile, where we scored and was able to achieve a 2-1 result. Coach Lou and I saw some tactical changes that we needed to make during the match, and the game changes made every bit of difference to help to achieve the result that we got today. Trying to keep the boys level-headed, stay focused for the next match. We'll make the necessary tactical changes that we need to make sure that we can get another positive result going into the final game.
Cleveland County on Saturday retained the Eastern County Cup, defeating Flats Victoria by 5 wickets in a drama-filled day at the Seabreeze Oval. Flats Victoria won the toss and elected to bat and were bowled out for 129. Flats Victoria were in trouble at 29 for 3 when Kamal Levrock was out for 7. Opener Reggie Baker went down suffering from chest pains and was taken to the King Edward Memorial Hospital via ambulance, never to return to the field. Nelson Bascom was the team's top scorer with 42, while Mackay Young was the pick of the Cleveland County bowlers with figures of 8.1 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 20. In reply, Levrock electrified the crowd with his pace, with the wicketkeeper and slips fielding back. Levrock had youngster Jabari Darrow and Kushai Darrow both back in the pavilion, caught behind by Regino Smith. St. John's personnel were called back into action when a Levrock delivery hit Cleveland County player coach Curtis Jackson in the head, with the player bleeding from the injury, having to leave the field. Cleveland County would eventually cross the score with Dion Stovall, the top scorer, on 37. Levrock was the pick of the Flats Victoria bowlers with 11 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 36. Bermuda Women's Volleyball Senior National Team continue competing in the Women's Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Championships in Antigua. The Bermuda ladies had their third match and went down 3-1 to Grenada. Bermuda lost the first 2 games, 25-20, 25-16, but they would rally from an 8-point deficit in the third game to come back and win 25-22. Unfortunately, Bermuda lost the fourth game, 25-13. Jair Mitchell concluded competing in the Walton Transcan Grand National Championships motocross event in Canada. Mitchell, competing in the 250 Pro class, finished 5th after 2 motos in a field of 40 riders. Mitchell finished the first moto in 6th place before crossing the line in 6th in the second moto. Mitchell also competed in the 450 Pro class. He would finish 15th. Mitchell did not finish the first moto before crossing the line 9th in the second. On local soil, the Bermuda Motorcycle Racing Club's 2018 Circuit Racing Championships continued continued at the Motorsports Park on Southside. Today, Cumbermack won 2 of the 3 races in the mini bike class, while Aiden Lopes won the other. Edward Cook once again dominated the scooter open class, winning all 3 races. Kennedy Silva won the 2 scooter 70 class races on the day. The 18th annual Bermuda Karate School Memorial Karate Tournament was held at the Fairmont Hamilton yesterday. David Simons was crowned the men's black belt grand champion, as well as the men's black belt weapons grand champion. Joshe Allen Lamontage won the women's weapons grand champion title, while Arima Turner won the novice girl grand championship title. The intermediate girls grand champion was Kalasia Simmons, and the intermediate boys grand champion was Dash Bailey. Adam Ho and his Aberdeen Ironbird teammates jumped on the Tigers early and often, scoring in 7 of the game's 9 innings. The Ironbirds smacked Connecticut 12-2 at the Dodge Stadium in Connecticut. Ho had another good day at the plate. He had 3 at-bats. He had 2 hits, 1 double, he scored a run, and had an RBI to go with a walk. Gladwin Lambert and Stephen Mabry sailed Melody to victory in the Mid-Atlantic Sailboat Club's long-distance race. It took Lambert and Mabry 3 hours and 58 minutes to complete the course in light and shifty conditions. Dale Brinkman finished second, while Quentin Simons finished third. Zanico Hendrickson and his crew finished in 4th place. Stoke City was quiet in the transfer market over the summer, but in the last week or so, after seeing their side make a slow start to the 2018-19 championship season, fans are looking for someone to put the ball in the net. And one man who could surely help with that is Naki Wells. Reggie Lamb and his Cambridge United teammates twice fought back from behind to take away a valuable 2-2 draw against Northampton Town. Jair Prophet Williams and his NJ Ruda Valenja teammates went down 3-0 to NK Alunji. Willie Clemens watched his Bowden BK teammates draw 1-1 with Friska Valor, and Dante Levrock was not in the JK Nevra Trends team that defeated Tulovic 4-1.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. And finally, a tourism authority video created and directed by Bermudians has proven a hit on social media, reaching millions of potential visitors around the world. And tourism bosses are now applauding the new content and their decision to partner with a social media giant to generate interest in the island. As Charai Trot reports, the message of the campaign was that Bermuda is just a 90-minute flight away from New York.
This new Bermuda Tourism Authority video was featured in a series of posts and stories this summer on the Instagram account of an advertising firm called Beautiful Destinations, which has 11 million followers. An Insta story post on July 21st reached more than 6.5 million users and generated an exceptionally high level of user engagement. The BTA says the story was the highest performing Beautiful Destinations client post for July and consisted of 19 segments with 6 different polls, which asked the audience to choose their next experience, from cliff jumping and horseback riding to local hangout spots or celebrity chefs. Tourism Authority Chief Saleswoman Victoria Isley said the goal of the paid partnership with Beautiful Destinations was to immerse targeted travelers in the distinct local experiences in Bermuda. The BTA feels the video cleverly highlights the short 90-minute flight from New York City and also promotes Bermuda's popular Bermuda Summer Fridays offer. The creation of the video content was noteworthy, the work of Bermudians, who were involved both in front and behind the camera. Along with the initial post, a July 31st video post by Beautiful Destinations generated an additional reach of 1.6 million people with 312,000 views and a high level of engagement from potential visitors. Data reaching the BTA shows some of these viewers actively spoke about booking their trip to the island. This represents the first time the Tourism Authority has worked with the media house, where it says it is the largest travel community on social media, reaching nearly 14 million people in 180 countries on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Charai. Well, that's all from the team tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.